Hi, I'm Angela Colleen. I'm a registered dietitian and instructor at Ohio State University. Today we're going to talk about eggs. In your chapter on lipids, you learned about recommendations for heart health. In general, you want to keep your saturated fats at a minimum, less than 10% of your total calories, and also we don't want to go overboard with cholesterol. How do eggs fit into that picture? Is it okay to eat eggs? Can I fit them in once in a while? Well, let's take a look at what eggs have to offer. So if we're looking at our nutrition facts panel, we see that eggs, yes, they do have some saturated fat and cholesterol. One egg has about 5 grams of fat and about 1.5 grams of saturated fat. As for cholesterol, 185 milligrams in one large egg. So we do want to keep those at a minimum, but let's not overlook some of the other things that are important in eggs. Eggs are a great source of protein. One egg gives us 6 grams of protein, and that's high quality protein. That means that the amino acids in the eggs are uniquely suited to match your amino acid needs. And in addition, if you look at the cost of protein, eggs give us a great source of inexpensive protein compared to other products like meats and chicken. In addition to the protein, you'll find that eggs are a great source of a quasi-nutrient called choline. Choline is important for brain health and neurological development. It's especially important for pregnant women to eat when they're developing a brand new baby. So choline is one of the richest sources of choline is eggs. You'll also find some fat-soluble vitamins, vitamin A and vitamin D. Not a lot of natural food sources of vitamin D, so eggs, that 1 microgram they give you, that's pretty decent. In addition to just traditional eggs, you can find eggs that have other things added. So I picked up a package that is a cage-free egg, but it boasts that it has omega-3 fatty acids. You learned in this chapter that omega-3 fats are good for heart health and brain health, but normally you associate omega-3s with fish. How do the omega-3s get into these eggs? Well, the farmers give flaxseed to the chickens, and that gets incorporated into the eggs, and then these become a source of omega-3s for you. If you don't like to eat fish or you don't eat fish very often, omega-3 eggs can be a good source of that nutrient for you. These are a little bit more expensive than traditional eggs, but make your choice based on what you need. What is cage-free? Cage-free means that those chickens are allowed to graze around in the grass and pick up bugs and things and eat those. Those provide some really good nutrients. They help to increase the carotenoid content of eggs. So cage-free is a good choice, but they are a little bit more expensive. One more thing I want to tell you about in the egg section, you can get egg beaters or something like an egg white substitute for eggs. So most of the time, if you're eating a lot of eggs, it's probably to get the protein. And so egg whites would be a good way to do that. These will give you the protein in the eggs, but not the fat or the cholesterol. But you are going to lose out on some of those fat-soluble vitamins. Can you include some eggs in your dietary pattern? Of course. If you like to include some eggs, I would recommend an average of about 1 egg per day or 7 eggs per week. That's going to give you the nutrients in eggs, but not overdo it with the cholesterol and saturated fat. In addition, if you are going to go above 1 egg per day, probably a good idea to use some egg whites instead of whole eggs once in a while. Great, thanks for your attention.